What's up, everybody? Today's episode is sponsored by LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe is a clothing company that provides comfortable, fashionable, and unique clothing for everyone. The famous soft, buttery leggings that I'm wearing right now are only the beginning. LuLaRoe also has an amazing lines of women's dresses, skirts, tunics, and t-shirts. Go to facebook.com/groups/LuLaRoe, REBECCA, Clark VIP. Enter too many words to get 20% off on your next order. Let's do the show. Hey, everybody. How's it going? What's up? What's new? What's cooking? Thanksgiving food soon will be cooking. I'm excited. I'm ready. I love the fall. I have my slippers. The air is getting crisper. I am Jamie Benningfield, and you are listening to Too Many Words. I was rambling on there before I introduced the show. I apologize for first-time listeners that are confused. I'm mixing it up a little bit, letting it fly, feeling a little loose today. I'm actually in a good mood, and it's funny because anytime when I'm like truly in a good mood and I've got a skip in my step, there's this suspicion that's just lurking in the background, like, all right, you're in a good mood. I mean, something's bad's gonna happen. It's like I don't want to enjoy the good mood, but I'm trying to, because it has been an intense few weeks, few months, 18 months, 29 years, eternity. It's intense out there. And I know we're all feeling intense. And for some reason today, I'm feeling a little lighter. And it could be because the tunnel of dystopian that I've been digging is, I'm near the opening to continue with the tunnel reference. I am doing the last round of edits with my editor where she's in my phone, we're talking about stuff, we're smoothing everything out. My proposal's ready to go. Tomorrow, I'm recording this on Thursday, so tomorrow on Friday, think of me because I will be hitting send and I will be talking to people, and then I'll be waiting. And but next week, and this brings me to, so there will be no new episode next week. The first interruption in 43 episodes since it started. But it's Thanksgiving, and I don't even think stores should be open. You don't need to be listening to me going on about whatever it is. You spend time with your friends and family, eat too much turkey, have fun, be thankful. Take the day, take the week. I'm taking the whole week. I'm really excited. But take the time that you're taking off, and just try to just try to enjoy yourself and lean into the positive. And if you are working or participating in any of the Black Friday madness, be kind to everybody, especially the people working. I used to work the Black Friday shift. It sucks. And if you're not watching Superstore, it's a great show. It's really funny. And if you've ever worked in a retail store or work in a retail store, it really it hits some points that are unique to the environment. But there is a Black Friday episode for this season. So I recommend that because it's pretty great. And I have my guest. I didn't get to my guest. I'm all over the place today. I have Maxximillian Dafoe on the show today. It's great having her back. You scroll back in the episodes and listen to another conversation that we had over the summer. And really, she's awesome. Such great conversation. And I recorded the talk with her a couple of weeks ago. And we were, we kind of had this great mutual therapy session. And I was really just in the throes of trying to wrap up the ending of this project that I'm continuing to talk about and will continue to talk about. But it is it was therapeutic talking to her on the day because it was a rough week. And then again, when I was going over the episode before posting it for you guys, it was like another therapy session because I was listening to it and getting comforted and feeling good and getting the vibes all over again. So I will have that for you shortly. It is good, so stay tuned for it. On Sunday, Feminine Collective featured my most recent piece for my column, Words on Paper, a visceral love story. And you should check it out, especially if you're a writer, because I feel like possibly you could get something from it. But in that place where I was just, I was surrounded by a sea of words and trying to put it all together, I was just feeling very emotional and just obsessed with the words themselves. So I wrote this stream of consciousness piece, cleaned it up, and sent it over. And the fabulous people over there posted it. So definitely be sure to check that out. I know personally, listening to other people talk about the emotions and what they go through emotionally while writing, it's very comforting to me because it's very emotional to me. And I think, I'd imagine it's writing and emotions, right? They're tied together. So it is just, it's this intense process. And anytime that I connect with somebody else about it, it's always like, oh, I am not totally batshit nuts. I'm just a writer. So it's, so I hope that I'm able to do that for you. And just putting a book together in general, it's just so multi-layered. And in the beginning, it's this raw, visceral, just intense experience. And it's really important to lean into that and not slow it down with seeing how things flow. I mean, sure, keep your characters and your world and all that stuff in mind. But what I mean is there is no time for the editor. You just got to get it out, because sometimes, all the time, when you lean into it, there's things that come out of it that you would never, ever expect. So, but there is always that voice, right, in the back of your head. Does this flow? What about these details? Do they come together? What you're trying to convey with that character that you're creating, that you're so proud of, come across to the readers. So here we are. I'm near the end, and I'm, working closely with my editor, who is amazing. I don't know what I would do without her. And we're going over all these details, and we're tightening up the proposal. And it just feels so good because that voice, that nagging little voice that's been with me for months saying, Jamie, this isn't working. The details, I would be up. I have been many nights just up in the middle of the night thinking about the details. Do the details come together? Because this is, and it's, depending on the story, the type of details, of course, matter and vary. But, with this complex world that I've put together, it is very detailed. So my point is, now that I am getting the permission I'm giving the permission to that voice, that nagging voice, to just scream and fix everything. And it's wonderful. Seeing it all come together and tighten up is just great. And I'm excited. And my excitement is immediately followed by, fear of failure, possibly some fear of success, the unknown, curiosity, nerves, all of it. But I will be eating those emotions next week with turkey and pie, and my sister-in-law, which doesn't even got to lose the in-law there. She's my sister. She's coming with my awesome nephew, and we're just going to have some family time and unplug. And I have some exciting projects already lined up in December to keep my mind and my hands occupied while I wait for things to come together on the dystopian end. So I will get into those projects in December. We are in November. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. And a reminder, again, that there will be no show next Thursday. Eat some turkey, some tofurkey, have some laughs, be kind. And on that note, we are going to go to my talk with Maxximillian. Maxximillian, welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back with you, my Aquarian sister.
I know. I've been looking forward to it. I was so bummed when I needed to reschedule last week, and last week was like there was like 8 things that just didn't make it on my calendar, and I was just like, what? And I was just scrambling all week. It was crazy.
It sounds exciting. It sounds exciting. Well, I'm glad that we're both here together. You know, the only time I ever think that anyone should ever feel a little bit disappointed is like if you have to reschedule and then the person dies.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, or if you die, but then what do you care? You're dead.
Exactly. I would hope that in the afterlife I'm not worrying about my podcast.
Oh my gosh. I am not even going to be thinking about my shit. Even if it's like I get to the second to the last episode and then I croak, I'll probably be in the afterlife like, I know that's mean, but hey, let's keep it real.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear other people like that have thoughts like that too.
Oh, yes. Well, I think a lot of people do. They just don't air them. And I suppose that maybe if I had some real like anger behind it, it probably wouldn't be that healthy. But I enjoy thinking and saying mischievous things because it brings joy into my heart and into the heart of others.
Totally. When I was young, I always have like the jokes or even like the television movie references I make always seem to like more times than not elude people. And like for a while, like it was something that bugged me, but like now it's something that I enjoy. Like I enjoyed like that look where people are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, I thought that Austin Powers reference was choice. So your fault for not watching the movie.
Oh, I'm like, what Austin Powers reference?
I make those a lot.
Well, I haven't seen all of the Austin Powers movies. I've only seen like 1 or 2, and it was so long ago. I don't know.
Those were movies for some reason that like were comfort movies. I think like I had seen like the first one when I was sick, and they just became like the movie that I put on when I want to watch something entertaining.
I understand that. I really do.
But now I have all this like random like quotes memorized from the movies.
Well, if you bust any out, I hope that I catch them. But if not,
I won't judge you if you don't. I promise.
Even if you do, it's okay. I would deserve it.
No, well, I think I'm like one of the only people that watch those movies that much. I mean, they weren't like quality movies. They were just these silly.
Oh, on the contrary. On the contrary, that kind of humor is very difficult to pull off, and they did an excellent job.
Yeah, Mike Myers is kind of the man.
He's really something else, and those movies were great. I mean, yeah, I think that they were done really well.
Yeah, they're definitely fun. I still crack up like I did when I first saw them. So, what do you got in the mix? What do you have going on?
Well, let's see. Right now, I am podcasting Mollyville.
How's that going?
Oh my God! Hey, I am really so thrilled. And you know what? I don't even care. I have no shame. I am so thrilled with myself and how it's going.
That's awesome. No, that's good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, podcast. I'm still very new to podcasting, and I am just like any other artist. I am developing my style as I go along, and I don't want to do everything the same way. About halfway through Afterlife, I kind of came alive, and I started talking about some of the issues in the episodes. My writing is very subtle. I touch upon issues, but I might not spell things out or really talk about it. And I said, I'm going to do that. So halfway through Afterlife, or maybe 2/3 of the way through, if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear me start talking at the beginning. And I won't really be talking about the story. I'll be talking about life. Like, for example, I know in episode 10, Floor Seat Hater.
Nice title.
I talk about a floor. Now, that's a term that I came up with. So if you hear somebody say it, it came from me. Floor seat hater is a motherfucker that likes to be really close to you, but really doesn't want to see you win. It's like some people like to say a frenemy. This is beyond that. This is a person who wants to see you fail secretly, but they want to be around you all the time. I used to have, obviously, or else I wouldn't have been able to write the character of Richard. I used to have a friend like that. And if she ever read, which she doesn't probably, she probably might recognize herself in my story. Anyway, so episode 10, Floor Seat Hater, I start off the episode talking about, do you know what a floor seat hater is? And explaining what it is. It's that friend that wants to be right up underneath you, but they're waiting to see you fail,
Yeah, no, I love that term because I've had a few of those pals myself, and yeah, that term nails it. It's much better than frenemy.
Because it's just like at a game. It's the people that have those are the expensive seats. They're right up close to the action, all that stuff. You can see the person sweating and everything. You can smell the funk. Just the whole. I just want to be as close as possible for that face plant that they're hoping that you get, whatever. So in episode 10, I started talking about the issues that were in the episode that I was about to perform.
Very cool.
And so I really enjoy doing that because the story of Afterlife is so special to me, but that's because I know all the ins and outs and the background of it, and I realized those things really weren't apparent in the story, and I just wanted to put it out there. And so now in Mollyville, I've taken it to like the next level, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. It's a lot more work, I'm going to say straight up, because I write the script, the before, the preamble, I call it, and after. So now I tackle an issue before the episode and I tackle a different issue after the episode. And I write those things. So I have to write 2 pieces for each episode. But it's worth it. Yeah, but it's worth it. And I enjoy it. And it's meaningful. And that way people can get the full meaning of what I was really on about when I wrote the episode. And it's not like I think people are dumb. It's just that.
No, I like that. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Thank you. I hope that you do, and I hope that you enjoy it.
I have a whole list of things that I'm going to unwind with. I'm taking the full week during Thanksgiving off, and right before that, right now I'm like in crunch mode zone, and in about 2 weeks I'll be finishing this dystopian novel and with the editing and sending it off to its next venture in its journey. So it's kind of.
What dystopian novel?
So
this is something different.
Well, so this is technically a project I started in the end of August. And I think I mentioned to you the YA contemporary that I had been working on.
Yeah.
That it wasn't taking me to where I wanted to go career-wise, like I thought it would, and I had at that point developed a rapport with a couple of agents, and I basically pitched this 5-book dystopian series without writing it, but having a concept of it. And it's things that I've imagined and had in my head for 6 or 7 years, and I got a lot of interest. So I'm kind of putting all these things together over the last few months, and working so much, and my focus has been mostly on that, making everything else crazy. But 2 more weeks and I will be handing it off. So that's pretty.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you say handing it off, are you telling me that you've written 5 books, or are you saying?
So just the first one.
Okay. Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you. And I've been working.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited.
I know what that feels like.
Yeah, and this has been kind of a really incredible experience. Actually, the last couple months, the story itself, writing it, is like nothing else I've ever experienced. It's kind of just falling out of me.
Yep.
And it's fun, and it's like. This is, I would say, probably the first time that I straight up just focused on the characters in the world and kind of left all the pieces fall as they may. And it's going really good, and I have the privilege of working alongside an editor as I chug through it. So we're, tight. At this point, it's feeling really tight and strong, and my hopes are exceedingly high. So
Well, I'm so excited for you, and I know what it feels like when you talk about falling out of you. That's how Molly Bill is. It doesn't even fall out of me. I'll tell you exactly what it's like. Did we talk about this before about the movie 8 Mile?
No.
What? Okay, tell me if this is what it's like for you. You saw 8 Mile.
Oh yes, many times.
Okay.
Eminem was kind of like, on my walls at one point when I was younger.
Oh my gosh, he's one of my favorite rappers alive. Not
too.
my number one, but it's like him and my number one. They got their arms over each other's shoulders. This is just a little bit of a little aside. Eminem is one of my favorite rappers alive, and the other one who's right up there, who just blows my mind, who's alive, Busta Rhymes. Those two guys.
He's amazing.
Oh gosh, I mean, like Busta Rhymes is like,
the emotion just tears right through you. It's crazy, and like some of the notes that his voice gets down to, it's like, oh.
Some of his drops and the way he says things. What I love about Busta Rhymes is I love the illustrations my mind makes when he does his rhymes, you know, and the funny stuff that he says. Like he says, down, bear, yogi, like, oh, yogi bear, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so in the movie 8 Mile, when Eminem, I don't remember his character, but whatever.
Rabbit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so when Rabbit's on the bus, and he's listening to a beat, and he's making up a rhyme as he's looking out the window, and as he's listening to the beat, certain words just kind of float into his cognizance, and by the time he gets to the place, he's got the whole rhyme, because the words are just coming to him.
Yes, I know that scene. I remember the first time I saw that, too, and it was like, yes, I totally know that feeling.
That's what it feels like for me when I'm writing. I literally... It's a sound. It's not kind of like, it's exactly like that, because my writing, some people say that my writing is very poetic, and it's because there's a rapper in my mind, and it's telling me, like, I'll know that the sentence has to end with this word. Like, there's certain tones and things that I hear, and when you say it falls out of me, like, that's my experience. Is it like that for you too?
Yeah. But
yes!
Nailed it on the head there.
Yes! I'm like slapping my leg. So uncouth.
That's awesome. It's good to be uncouth. Yeah, but that's what it's like, and it's just the whole, even like my confidence around what it is that I'm putting together. It just feels different to me. I'm in a different nook on the journey, and it feels nice. That being said, I'm reaching the point that when I get to the end of the day, my brain, I don't know if this happens to you after you have like a really strong writing session, but my brain just feels like it's like done, like speaking words and hearing words, and I'm like just a blob in front of the television lately.
Oh, you watch TV after you write to like as a buffer to get your mind to stop doing what it was doing?
Kind of. I mean, just to kind of unwind. Like that's kind of how I've been spending my evenings when I'm like done working. I've been kind of loafing in front of the television.
That's interesting. What do you watch? Anything or?
It depends. I mean, right now Walking Dead is something I grab. I recently just caught up on the season so far on Z Nation, and I started watching The Magicians, which is based off the series, and it's on Sci-Fi. And it's magically awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And I go through long stretches of time where I don't watch TV, but like right now I'm just kind of like, when my day is done, I park it.
Wow. I usually, when I was writing Mollyville, and we'll see again what happens this time, I'm sure everything's going to be totally different. Or maybe not. But I would write until I got really sleepy. Not like till I hit my wall, but like I didn't really feel like I had the attention span to watch anything, and it was probably like too late to go for a walk. I like to have some type of buffer, but when I'm in the mountain hideaway,
mountain hideaway,
like okay, so what's been really working for me is I have a mountain hideaway that I go to, and I do my writing there. It's great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. But in the mountain hideaway, it's not the same like being in LA in my hometown, where there when I finish, work, I can go. I would always do something. I needed to go to a bar or go hook up with a friend or do something so that I could shift gears from the writing to like something else. But and especially like if doing any acting or any acting, I could never go home straight from the set. I could never do that because
That makes sense. You're probably all like amped. Like that's
yeah, totally amped. But with writing, it's different. I don't need that kind of buffer, and so it seemed like I would just have some quiet time, take a shower, meditate. So
yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens this time. But I never really wanted a shift the same way. I'll tell you what it is. The difference is this: being on set, I'm dealing with all these different people, and there's all this energy bouncing around, and I'm, sharing energy, giving energy away, and trying to refract other people's energy, shit that I don't want, all of this. But writing, it's like, it's all just my energy. And so I'm not so anxious to disperse it, and I don't want to get rid of it. And I don't necessarily want to shift gears. I just need to stop looking at my computer screen.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah. Yeah. And when I stop writing, it's because the rapper has stopped speaking. So I don't have like any problems turning off my mind, so to speak, because the rapper has dropped the mic for the day, and I'm done.
See, my rapper doesn't completely drop the mic. It'll start to mumble, and then, but it's like still, I'm still hearing it in my head. I just can't decipher the words.
Oh my God, mumbler.
Yep. Yeah. Starts mumbling the plot line to me, and then I turn on the television.
That is so funny. Start mumbling.
Like I took what you said and I ran with it. I have a mumbling rapper. Well, I like how you said, my rapper drops the mic, and I was like trying to think, like, what does my rapper do? Yeah, no, he just starts blending all the words together.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I remember I used to have a friend who, I don't know if you've had friends like this in your life. I would imagine that you probably have, but you have those friends where, like, if you spend the night together, you talk until you fall asleep or whatever. So one of you,
definitely.
Oh yeah. I used to have a friend that would try to talk even though they were half asleep. I would always mumble, still.
That's awesome. My husband tells me that I fall asleep mid-sentence. But I'll be like, we'll be watching TV or hanging out or whatever, and we'll be talking, and then I'm done. Like, system shut down.
Cliffhanger. Yeah. I used to have a friend that would fall asleep driving, and I'd be like, bitch, wake up!
That's scary.
And it was so annoying because, like, she used to do this all the time, and she didn't even have narcolepsy. The bitch just wouldn't admit when she was fucking tired. And it's like, I can drive, like, and she would do that. It would be so messed up. You're driving on the freeway, and you're listening to music. I'm looking at my window, and I just turn casually and look at her, and this bitch is asleep driving.
Oh man.
Well, luckily there's never been any accidents.
Well, that's nice. Well, it's crazy. I mean, being a passenger in a car can be kind of intense depending on who's driving. I had this one friend that she would look at me so much when she was talking while she's driving that, like, she'd nick the wheel against curbs and stuff, and or like make real. I'd be like, wait, we were supposed to turn, and she still like would make the turn even though like she should have just waited and taken the next one. And it's like I always felt like my life was just like in my hands when she was driving.
Gosh, that is just so rude. That's so awful.
But I wrote an article about this recently, or like just last week for Feminine Collective, but it was self-awareness and how I spend probably too much time thinking about like why people do what they do, and like sometimes it like really confuses me when people are just so rude, and it's like I think it comes down to like self-awareness, and it's like there are some actions, and I'm sure that I'm guilty for it as well, that it's just like I do things or say things without, or people do these things, and I think sometimes they just don't even realize what it is that they're doing. Or
give me an example.
Okay.
Give me a for instance.
For instance,
yeah.
Parents that I take my daughter to martial arts, actually, I mentioned this in the article. There are a group of parents that sit, like, it's a small dojang, and there's a very, very small place where parents can watch the class. And, martial arts is respect and focus and all those good things. And there's the same group of parents multiple times a week, and they sit as close to the mat as possible and talk so loudly that they pull focus away from the kids and make it so that the parents who actually want to pay attention can't hear a thing that's going on in the class. So, and that's something that drove me crazy. And it still does. But that's the kind of thing I feel like I could attribute to their lack of self-awareness of the situation.
Maybe they just think that their own conversation is very interesting and that everyone would want to hear it.
Exactly. Well, see, that's what I stew in my mind as I'm sitting near them. But, it's an interesting thing to think about, I think. It's like, and like I started paying attention to my own actions, thinking like, do I,
show up earlier than them and sit in their fucking spot?
Oh, I do that sometimes. But the thing is,
what happens to you?
Well, if I'm positioned, this sounds crazy, but if I position myself and like before they get there, I'm able, because there's not a lot of seating. So if they're not near the front of the class, they're not really able to all sit together. And then there's less talking. But I barely make it anywhere on time, let alone early. So that's where it falters. I'm always, I don't know, my sense of time is it's warped. I can make it to things on time, but it's a struggle. And like, I don't know, like it'll be like an hour before we have to go somewhere, and I'll get like motivated to make a lasagna. You don't make a lasagna an hour before you have to leave somewhere, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
But okay, let me ask you a question. When you get motivated to make that lasagna, right, do you go, I have time if I hurry and make this lasagna?
Yes.
Or you do?
Yeah, I actually think I can fit it in.
But you do hear the voice that says, Jamie, you're not going to have time.
Sometimes it doesn't beat my husband's voice saying that.
Oh, okay. Well,
that being said, though, my kids have not been late to school once their entire elementary school career, so I can make things happen on time. But it's like I have to watch myself. Oh man,
that's what
I really hope that was you.
What was me?
It's happening.
You have to listen to the voice of Jamie, because I talk about this in my podcast. Those voices, that is you talking to you. The voices that's you. The soft, subtle voices, not the voices that's real bossy and telling you how it is, laying down a lot. That's not the one to listen to. The soft, subtle voice. The little voice that goes, you can make that lasagna when you get back. Or whatever. That's you looking out for you. You should listen to those voices.
I know.
And you'll know the voices because I know there's a lot of voices in there.
I was going to say, sometimes I don't trust the voice, because it's like, not necessarily with like lasagna maybe, but like, the voice that's like, oh, you should, especially with writing, like the voices that say like, you need to restructure this. It's like, I say to the voice, how do I know that you're being for real? Or if you're trying to trick me?
How I know, none of the voices are ever trying to trick you. It's just that
apparently I don't trust myself.
None of them, and I understand that, I do. None of the voices are trying to, this is my personal like modus operandi. None of the voices are ever trying to trick you, but they all have different perspectives. And
interesting.
Some of the voices are helping you from a position that you're no longer in. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Maybe, now this is totally fiction, but I'm saying it to illustrate something that you'll be like, oh, you'll be like, oh, I get it, or you'll be like, nah, it doesn't really make sense to me. But like, at different times in our life or in our lives, different methods work for us for example. There might be a time in your life when it is actually in your benefit not to show up on time. This is just an example. I used to be a person that didn't show up on time. And it's because at that time in my life, something I realized later, I was dealing with people who were always late. So me showing up on time meant that I was always waiting around for people. And or I was dealing with a lot of people who were flaky. So me showing up and being somewhere on time meant a lot of times I would get stood up or people didn't show up and I had gone through all the trouble and expense for nothing. So there was a time in my life where showing up late to things worked for me, because during the time I fucked around making myself late, I would get that call or that text going, hey, we're not going to show up, or we're not going to be there, or we're running an hour late, when I was still comfortably in my apartment, not sitting alone at a bar looking awkward. So, but then what happened is I shifted those people out of my life. These are all changes that I was able to look back. I was able to look back and see this. When I shifted those people out of my life, I was still having the habit of being late, showing up late, even though now it wasn't working for me because I was dealing with people who were always on time. I was now dealing with people who are the kind of motherfuckers that show up early. And so my lateness was not only not working for me, it was detrimental to my relationships. And it took me to look at my situation and go, why am I always late? And I really did. Because somebody went off on me and they were really pissed off. They took me to the side and they basically told me off, and they were like, you're always fucking late and it's rude and this and that, and we had to wait for you and we lost our table or whatever the deal was or whatever. And I had to look at it because I liked those people, and I know that it's not cool to always be late. With this group, it wasn't cool. And I had looked at myself and I said, but why was I late? There was no reason. That was the key. There was really no reason why I was late. I didn't have a flat tire or any of that kind of weird stuff. And it was constant. And so I had to look at the situation, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
So once I understood, I was showing up late all the time because it was something that I hadn't even started doing consciously. It was just something that I gradually moved into, and then it worked for me. And then when it stopped working for me, that was the adjustment. It was like, oh, this is no longer working for me. And I was doing it because now the situation has changed. So, and literally, I was never late again after that.
Oh, wow.
And it's like that with everything. It's like that with every single thing, because I've had this happen for me in my life many times where I've had some behavior that I was doing or not doing, and I had to look at it and I say, oh, there's a series of meditations that someone gave me many, many years ago for Christmas. It was really the beginning of a lot of positive things for me. One of the meditations, it was a guided visualization. Now, I grew up meditating, but I grew up old school meditating, where you just are quiet and you do your own thing in your mind.
Right.
And it really relaxes you. And then eventually you're not in your mind, you're completely in the no place. But I didn't have any experience with guided visualizations, but this person, gave me these guided visualizations, and then I looked into it a little deeper, and then I started finding other people who offer that kind of service, and I started finding books and things like that. And I found this meditation where the guided visualization actually, it's like this woman's voice, and she tells you she has a bunch of different stories or whatever, but one of them, they're all pretty much the same now. And it always goes like, you go to a meadow or a stream or the forest or wherever, and all the different visualizations have themes. So like if you are trying to one of them is like to reconnect with the part of yourself that likes to make money or whatever, your monetize power. It's like your money, like magnetizing yourself was one. And then there was one where it's like basically for people who want to make money, but they have some kind of block. I don't remember the title of the disc. I wish I did, because it was a very good title. It was funny. But in the visualization, you go into the meadow, and she talks you to see the grass, and you see the sky and the clouds and all the stuff, and you envision I can't remember the word she used, but like that part of you that makes the money happen, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're supposed to get together with that part of you and have a conversation with that part of you. And this is what she says that was like really mind blowing. She says, that you have to basically, I'm paraphrasing, but basically you have this conversation with that part of you because that part of you is trying to protect you. And so whatever the behavior, the thing is that you're doing, it's not coming out of, this is where I say the voices aren't trying to trick you. It's coming out of, there's a part of yourself that is still doing the old thing, what used to work for you. And in the visualization, you have to have a conversation with the part of you where you say to that part of yourself, you say, self, this is the new dream. This is what I want to do now. And you're supposed to share with that part of yourself the new dream, your new vision for yourself. And then you're supposed to tell that part of yourself, now that you know what I want to do, what we're going to do, now do something,
Totally.
the thing to like make that happen or whatever. But you can do that with your own conscious thinking mind.
And that's interesting doing that with like, smaller details like that, as far as like talking to myself with like, looking at like why I, have so much trouble leaving the house and that sort of thing. But there is a lot of power to that kind of thinking. I mean, I'm kind of experiencing that with this dystopian project. Is I just told myself, you were going to write this, you're going to finish it, and you're going to fucking sell it. And
yes.
And that has been like that type of thinking, not like this, kind of trembling over the idea of the whole grand scheme. It's just like, you're going to write it. It's awesome. You're going to sell it, and you're going to, you're going to move on. That kind of thinking has really been helping me. It is amazing what the mind can do if you like actually like tune into yourself.
Absolutely. And the voices are never trying to trick you. They just might be on the old program.
Yeah, this is an Alice in Wonderland, I suppose.
You said it is or it is not?
Is not.
Why not?
No, with the voices, like the Cheshire Cat.
Oh.
See, one of my oddly placed references I alluded to earlier.
But maybe I just didn't hear what you said. I thought you said this isn't Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay. Yes, which I said.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Sorry.
I'm like, but it
when my mind is like, it feels like it's half working. By the time I reach this time of day, I just start getting tired.
No way.
Well, yeah, but I am up around 5:30 in the morning, so there is that.
Oh snap! Hey, do you ever go for walks in the afternoon? Some people drink coffee in that afternoon. Maybe if you like do some energizing breaths might help.
Walking in the afternoon is something though that I should do. I mean, I take my dogs out somewhere around now, but walking does, it loosens the mind. It's funny because sometimes when you think of like physical exertion, it's like, oh, that sounds tiring, but like depending on what you do, like yoga can be this way too. It's energizing.
It is. It always is. And usually because sometimes I do feel lethargic, but I always know the reason why I feel lethargic is because I have not been in motion. If I go for even just a short walk, I can like tell myself I'm going to do something really ridiculous. Like, okay, I'm just going to walk down to where the mailboxes are. But once I get my ass up off the chair and put my shoes on and I'm outside looking at the clouds, I always go further than the mailbox. And I'm always glad I did. It's always energizing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like right now, I'm pretty much sitting in my office from like 9:30 to about, depending on the day, 3 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, without much of a break. Certainly not exercise. Because I take my dogs for a long walk before I sit down. But yeah, incorporating more time where like I'm making myself move might help with my evening tired. That's I haven't thought about that. Look at you. You're helping me figure myself out.
Hey, I want
therapy session.
Seriously. I want us both to be like J.K. Rowling status. We have not only one series of books, but we have other pseudonyms that are also bestsellers with like,
Yeah, totally. That's yes. I want that for us as well.
Yeah, and I just want to, just a quick aside, and it's a little bit personal, and I don't think it's TMI, but I want to really stress to you, I don't know what kind of chair you sit in, and I don't think it matters that much. You got to get up and walk around because you don't want to have any circulation problems. You don't want to have any, you don't want to have any avoidable problems you could have avoided by getting up and moving around.
It's true. Well, and it's something like, switching to writing full time has really changed my activity level. Cause especially when I was a full on, kid duty and just writing at night, I was very active all day because I was chasing those little buggers around. And now, there's some days where I never quite make it out of my pajamas because
that's okay.
Most days. Well, because I drop my kids off and I don't get out of the car. So it's
but that's fine. You can walk in your pajamas. You be the crazy lady in the neighborhood just walking around and put some Uggs on. And
go with my crazy hair right now. I'm refusing to cut my hair until I finish this book.
Oh my God, I love that idea.
I don't know, I got motivated to do it because I was nearing the midpoint and I was like, oh man, my hair is out of control. When is the last time because it's thick and it's curly and I usually keep it short, but when it starts to grow out, things just go all over the place. And I was like, when's the last time I cut it? And I couldn't remember. And I was like, you know what? I'm not cutting my hair until I finish this book.
I love that idea. You know what? When I was writing a book before, or maybe I was working. Oh no, I was working on my screenplay. I was writing my screenplay, and I saw my mom, and she made some comment about my hair, right? And my mom doesn't usually make comments on my personal appearance. Usually, I'm looking pretty cute when I see my mom, but I wasn't this day. My hair, she didn't like my hair. It was probably all over my head, some type of weird troll doll or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm rocking right now.
Yeah,
I'm a troll doll.
Good, right? So she's made some comment, and I got really mad, and I rounded on her. And I said, you know what? I said, if I was a man, and I said, I'm not going to cut my beard until I finish, everyone would say how nobling.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, totally.
I'm glad you're not cutting your hair. You just let them grow wild. Just do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I got 2 more weeks, and then I'm gonna have a beauty day. We'll see.
Make sure before you cut it that you document the growth, because
this was for Powerland.
Yeah, because it's connected to your process for your book or whatever, and you can look at it and say, oh, I remember back when I refused to cut my hair. That was my first best-selling book.
Totally. It can be an interview item, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's good to have stories behind the work. People love that shit.
So true. Well, Max, it has been. I'm sorry. I don't know. I call you Max in my head. I shorten it.
Oh,
I don't know if that's
only on the inside.
What's that?
I should only do that on the inside. I always go by Maxximillian. I know everybody wants to call me Max, but I just can't allow it.
I completely understand, and it slipped out. But Maxximillian, my apologies. No, I feel I feel you. My bad. But it's been great talking to you.
You too.
Can you tell the fine folks where they can find all your good stuff?
Absolutely. You can find all of my good stuff you can find my Mollyville podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, I believe Pocket Cast, and basically anywhere where podcasts are found. And if that's not good enough, you can get it directly from my website, always. And my website is, get a pin, it's TarynMaxximillianDafoe.com. TarynMaxximillianDafoe.com. And the Afterlife podcast has been nominated for an Audioverse Award.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you for writing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Thank you. And that's on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play as well. Also available on the website. And I have a new podcast that's going to be featuring hers truly, Jamie Bennington.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. It was so much fun.
I'm so excited to put it. That's going to be on, that'll be on iTunes and everything as well. It's not up right now at the moment, but it will be soon. But the website for that is Writer and Angelino. And I just want to say that will be up, I think, in November. I really wanted to have everything going out in October, but there's been some technical snafus, and so I'm making a platform change and some other stuff. So
I completely understand.
I'm so sorry for this.
No, I completely get it.
I'm so excited about it. But that's writerandangelino.com, and that is a nonfiction podcast where we have great conversations about important and wonderful things that will give you some food for thought and make you feel good.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And it's been a yes.
I'm sorry, one more thing. And my books are on Amazon. I forgot. Oh yeah, I have actual books too. Those are on Amazon. And you just put in Amazon Maxximillian Dafoe. 2 X's, 2 L's. That's really everything.
Awesome. Well, it's been a blast talking to you as usual. I love that I know that it's always going to be a great time. Good conversations.
Indeed. And I'm so happy to hear your voice. And I want to congratulate you again on your dystopian novel, the whole series. I am so excited. So now we're not only Aquarius birthday sisters, we're also dystopian world sisters.
Yes. And I'm in love with writing dystopian, and it's funny because it's one of my favorite genres, but I've never written a tried and true dystopian. Oh man, I love it. I love what you can do to the world.
Yes, and I am really looking forward to reading it. I know it's going to be a while. But
it is.
I just want you to know that I'm rooting for you. I have faith in you. I know it's going to happen. And as soon as you said it, I felt it. I heard it. I know it's happening. So
awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm hoping to announce exciting things soon.
You will. However long it takes. The most important thing is that it's the right thing, and you'll feel it. Don't rush. Know that it's going. And I feel like you do know.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Good things, the best things don't happen overnight.
That's true.
As long as you can just be patient and know that it's happening, it's happening. And so whenever it comes out, we will all be ready with our Sharpies waiting for an autograph.
Sweet. Thank you. Well, you have a wonderful evening, and thanks again for coming on.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
Isn't she great? And that was fun. That was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. And this, of course, wraps it up for this week. Have a great Thanksgiving. I will be back on December 1st with author and fellow post-apocalyptic enthusiast Julie Dawn. So be sure to tune in for that. Of course, follow me on Twitter, Me Bedingfield, the show, Too Many Words Pod. Same on Facebook, Instagram. I'm Jamie the Scribbler. And for my blog, links to my articles, my short stories, all that, all my other stuff, all my works, go to jamiebedingfield.com. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you in December. See what I did there? I was looking forward to that when it hit me that I could play, twist that ending. Anyway, talk to you soon. Happy Thanksgiving week.